It's time for our last of our pre-finals ahead of the lunch break, and it's DD2 Masters. Let's give you the starting order. Having taken all three victories yesterday, it is France's Rudy Champion, who qualified in pole position, won all three races yesterday, starts on pole. He's got Estonia's Pritsai alongside. It's Christophe Adams and Carl Klebor on row number 2, representing the Netherlands and Belgium, respectively. Jonathan Wimmer from France and Lithuania's Martina Stankiewicz complete the top 3 rows, followed by the 523 of France's Bruno dos Santos, Sweden's Renis Fries in the 512, Jimmy Chaumier from France alongside Christophe Capitan, also from the same nation, along with Rodrigo Pinilos and Andreas Neumann, both representing Germany, with Maxim Shaposhnikov from Russia completing the running order. 13 drivers about to go into battle for 14 minutes plus an additional lap. So the sunshine continues to beat down on the circuit. So very much a reminder how pretty much the week has been here in Andalusia. Also seen some great racing from these drivers as well. Drivers now make their way out of the final corner. Into the tram lines we go. Revs rise, the lights are out, we're off and underway for 14 minutes of racing. Rudy Champion leads the field into turn 1 first, Christophe Adams in second. Jonathan Wimmer got up into 3rd position at the drop of a hat. Ahead of Pritsai, who started alongside Champion on the front row of the grid. Actually, we've got Christophe Capitan, who's now up into 4th place. That's an epic start from the French driver. 5.99. Sprinting his way towards the sharper end of the grid. No, actually, it's Bruno dos Santos. So Carl Klebor. Pritsai up the inside of Carl Klebor now. Tries to through the hairpin. Carl Klebor makes sure he takes the inside line for the very, very next corner and keeps ahead. So Maxim Shaposhnikov has made up a position as there is a little bit. Oh, there's been a touch, and that was the two of the Birlarts that had just collided, I'm afraid, through the second to last corner. Now there's a move up the inside. That was Bruno dos Santos, and that was on Christophe Adams. Carl Klebor's got Pritsai up his inside, going towards the crest of the hill, and the Estonian nearly tries to get through. But Klebor shuts the door quite firmly. As we've got another move, that is Christophe Capitan up the inside of Jimmy Chaumier. That's for 7th on the road, and just behind them is Andreas Neumann from Germany. Down the back straightaway, Champion's already cantered away into the distance. Jonathan Wimmer is now in 2nd place. 3rd, that is the 5.23 of Bruno dos Santos. Christophe Adams in 4th, Carl Klebor in 5th. Pritsai looking up the inside of the 5.06, and it gets really close. And Pritsai There's a little bit of what we like to call a bit of a tank slapper. This back end stepped out to the left-hand side on the rear of the kart. Christophe Capitan was looking up the inside, the very next left-hander. So 11 minutes and 25 seconds still to go, plus an additional lap. Jonathan Wimore has got Bruno Dos Santos in tow. A little bit of a train emerging behind Carl Clermont because Pritzai is there. This is Christophe Capitan, Jimmy Chaumier. It's side by side between. That was the 5:33 of Martina Stankiewicz. Now Pritzai again goes up the inside and he launches up the curb. Oh, nearly a little bit of an unwanted moment there for Carl Clermont. He had to avoid, and all of a sudden it opened the floodgates. Then, like a rat up a drain pipe, Jimmy Chaumier managed to get through, and now it's side by side between Stankiewicz. And of all places, oh my goodness, he gets through on the inside of Andreas Neumann, and Neumann has got nowhere to go. And the front bumper of the 567 mounts the back bumper of the 533. Heart in the mouth moment stuff there. But Carl Clermont had no say in the situation. Pritzai just sent it up the inside of him through turn one, and Clermont reacted by going to the outside line and nearly got collected. And that's what you don't want. And Rudy Champion has got a lead after 4 laps. It's just over a second because Jonathan Wimore has just gone through and put in a 1:03 .429. Christophe Capitan now has Pritzai up the inside. Capitan stays ahead. Well, Rudy Champion just continuing to pound in the laps. Lap 5 completed, and he puts in the fastest of anybody. And just keeping a little look behind of where Jimmy Chaumier and Pritzai are at the moment. Martina Stankiewicz is leading this little battle here as Andreas Neumann goes up the inside of Rodrigo Pinillos. And gets through, and Pinillos looking up the inside through the next right-hander and does not get a chance. Just over a minute away from the halfway point of this 14-minute encounter, plus an additional lap. The lead between Rudy Champion and Jonathan Wimore now has extended to just over 1.1 seconds. Bruno Dos Santos still keeping in touch in third position, the 5:23. Doing a fairly good job. Christophe Capitan running in fifth, being challenged by Pritzai, and up the inside now. What happened to Christophe Capitan? He's not running at full speed. I think he lost sudden momentum. We'll see if he runs up to speed. However, he hasn't just lost the one place, he has lost several. And he's in front of, where is he? He's behind Rodrigo Pinillos. As Jimmy Chaumier and Martina Stankiewicz battling away side by side through into the left-hand hairpin on the mid part of the circuit for the right-hander that brings them onto the back straightaway. All of a sudden, Christophe Capitan slowed significantly. That was going to be, he was running in P5 at that time, so that has dropped him right down to around about 11th position by my count. Actually, that's put him behind Maxim Shaposhnikov from Russia down. So the Frenchman goes down into 12th position. Got 6 minutes, 5 seconds plus an additional lap of this race to go. Britsai and Martina Stankiewicz battling away over what is 5th place on the road as Rudy Champion continues to lead and lead commandingly. Kept up a consistent pace and has not allowed both Jonathan Wimont and Bruno Dos Santos to close on in. The gap between first and second now extends to 1.335 seconds. Stankiewicz really putting the pressure on Pritsai for that place. That's 5th on the road. And up the inside goes the Lithuanian, up the inside of the Estonian, and gets through and takes P5. So a little bit further back, Christophe Capitan closing in on Maxim Shaposhnikov. Looks to possibly get the run going onto the back straightaway and is within a kart length and looks to the inside. Decides to dive through, gets the job done nice and neatly on the apex. Shaposhnikov trying to counter-attack on the very next left-hander. Capitan is safely through. Rodrigo Pinilos running at the top 10, representing Germany. 5.14. And I'm just keeping an eye on lap times at the minute. And Martina Stankiewicz has taken an absolute chunk of time out of the gap between himself and the driver in front of him. The 555 representing the Netherlands, Christoph Adams. Martina Stankiewicz is the driver that has set the fastest lap of the race. Dos Santos is keeping pace with Jonathan Wimont in the 5.60. Head into the last 2 3/4 minutes. And there's still maybe an opportunity that we might get some drivers closing in. Well, we are, because we look back to 4th and 5th place going down the back straightaway. And there in the distance, heading into the braking zone, up the inside of Christoph Adams, goes Martina Stankiewicz to take 4th place. Christoph Adams does have an opportunity to close on in. I have 2 minutes plus an additional lap to do so. With the pace that I'm seeing from Martina Stankiewicz, who has actually put in the fastest lap of the race so far, and he's the only driver that I've seen in the last couple of laps or so, including Rudy Champion. Rudy Champion's running in the 103.1s, the high 103.1s. Tankevicius in the last 2 laps has done a 102.825 on the completion of lap 9, well, lap 10, and then lap 11 he did a 1 minute 2.961. So the Lithuanian is picking up the pace, and I'm looking at the gap between him and Bruno Dos Santos, and that gap is starting to close. It was a 1 minute 2.992 from Tankevicius. Dos Santos, 1 minute 3.287. So the question is, how hard is Tankevicius going to push? And looking at the sector times, he's the fastest in sector number 1 of anybody. It could be a bit of a tall order, but we have got 2 laps after this one. As soon as Rudy Champion crosses the start-finish line. So we'll have 2 more laps to go, including this one now as Champion crosses the line with 14 seconds to spare on the clock. And already, my goodness, Tankevicius, because he's got clean air, he's just going for broke. 1 minute 2.678. Gap now down by nearly half a second. 1.6 seconds separates 4th and 3rd. Timer has hit 0. And Dos Santos is happy to hold station in 3rd place. Whether he'll want to do that in the final a bit later on is a completely different proposition altogether. Yeah, I'm seeing that gap being decimated by Tankevicius. He's closing. Keeping himself in P4, that could give him a good run, maybe at the podium at the end of this weekend, come this afternoon. So last lap board is out for the morning's action here at the Rotax Max Challenge Winter Cup here at Karting Campillos in Andalusia. And Tankevicius is a second away from Dos Santos. He's absolutely destroyed that gap within the last 3 to 4 laps and has got it down from, what was it, 2.5 seconds to 1. The 1 minute 2.678 is his fastest lap he's taken. He's taken another chunk. He took 6/10 out of Dos Santos, and there he is. Tankevicius, could he set himself up for a second row, well, an inside second row start? He's close. It might be a bit of a tall order, but it just depends on how brave the Lithuanian is on the brakes. And he's got right up close. Dos Santos knows it and wants the front. If he can get a front row into this afternoon, it's anyone's guess. But Rudy Champion continues his 100% success rate. Jonathan Wimore in 2nd, Bruno Dos Santos in 3rd, and Martinas Tankevicius was 0.177 seconds away from getting into the top 3. So he'll have the outside of row 2. So Rudy Champion takes the victory here in DD2 Masters, the 504 from France, and it's a French 1-2-3 with Jonathan Wimore in the 560 and Bruno Dos Santos in the 523, with the latter putting a little bit of water, putting a bit of fire extinguisher material onto the fire that was lit right underneath the chassis of Martinas Tankevicius in the 533, who closed the gap to less than 2/10 come the end of the 15-lap race. Christoph Adams in 5th ahead of Pritsai from Estonia. Jimmy Chaumier rounds out the top 7 ahead of Karl Clebo with Andreas Neumann, Christophe Capitain, Rodrigo Pinelos, Maxim Shaposhnikov and Renis Fries rounding out the 13 strong, all drivers completing all 15 laps.